Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So we got us a start to a new week, Monday morning. Got good news. Hopefully, I'm amped up about this vaccination news. You know, it's very good news for the world, man. You know, I'm not taking it. You know, but for those that are waiting on it, you know, congratulations. I hope that it is what it is, and I hope that it all works out for you. But I'm not taking it. Man, I don't trust these people. You know, I want to take it. I want to be vaccinated. I want to be safe from any kind of, you know, disease or virus or anything as that can potentially end my life. There's no question. But I don't trust these people. I'm sorry. And I'm not telling anybody to listen to me. I'm not telling anybody to do as I do. But I won't be taking it. And, you know, as much control as I have over my child, she won't be taking it either. But that's up to her mother. She's in her mother's hands, you know, and that's how my child chooses to be at this point. But I'm sorry, I'm not taking it. You know, I can't. I can't because I know too much, and that's the sad thing about it is when you know that your government and just world organizations have the potential to be corrupt. It's a scary thing. It's a double-edged sword. You know, and you sit there and you question yourself, like, I would rather deal with the virus because at least I know, for the most part, how to keep myself clean and protected. You know, so it's a scary time. You know, and these are decisions that are going to be made, and you cannot make decisions like this emotionally. You know, and I've put a lot of thought into it. You know, so I'm not just you know, making a decision based upon how I feel, but exactly what I do know, you know, and it's scary. It's like one of those fucking things where you don't want to look at how hot dogs are made because you'll never eat a hot dog again, you know, and it's kind of like one of those instances, you know, you don't want to really research your government or understand how global dominant, you know, what the hell is the fucking word that I'm looking for? But global takeover, right? You don't want to research and you don't want to really understand how this is possible because then it alters your thought patterns. It makes you think differently and view things differently. So some people, again, would rather remain ignorant. Again, that's the definition of ignorance is bliss, you know? You get to run around without a worry in the world. Meanwhile, you know, everything else is going on. But you're just completely ignorant to it. So, I don't know. I'm at odds. I really am. You know, so, but for those that completely believe in it and have been waiting on it, so you can feel safer going out into public, you know, I hope it is everything that you hope it is as well, you know, and I'll pray for that because I just want this shit to go away. I'm tired of sitting in my house. I'm tired of being broke. You know, I want life to go back to normal, you know, and it's not. We all keep saying we want life to go back to normal, but it's not. It's not going back the way that it was. Just like here in America, life didn't go back the same way after 9/11. It's just these things change life as we know it. Life is going to alter. So we don't know what the new norm is going to be. And that worries me as well. So there's a lot of pressures and there's a lot of life worries that we can sit around and we can just dive into and be lost in worry and stress and negativity because it's so easy to do it at a time like this here. The hardest thing to do is to remain positive and strong and optimistic and say to yourself, like, it's okay, everything is going to be all right, because you don't know if it is. I don't know if it is. So it's almost like a placation of myself just to keep a smile on my face and not bring other people down. These are the times that we're in. But my silver lining that I find is there have been other pockets of time where humanity has gone through what we're going through, or even worse. And everything came out all right then. So that is where I pull my faith in, knowing that we just have to stay strong, stay together. If you see somebody's down and out, help these people. Help the brother, help the sister. Stop judging one another and just help. Whatever it is, even if you don't agree with the person, just help them. Don't break the law. I'm not telling anybody to go out and help somebody rob a fucking bank. But just help people, man, and be nice to people. Everybody is stressed. I know I'm stressed and I'm very tense. And I could easily become emotional, in any given situation, because I'm a sensitive person. But see, I have to understand these things, and I know that. So when I go out, I really have to check myself hard. Check myself hard. And that's just what we have to do. So today's show, I got Ron Burgess Jr. Again, another individual that had to experience life as we just described, growing up in South Florida, very racist area, a lot of drugs, a lot of gangs, a lot of criminal activity, and not many resources is what South Florida is. And this is the environment that this individual grew up in. One of the worst, one of the worst hoods down in South Florida, in that area. And, his mother was left by herself to raise 3 boys on her own. The father had a crack addiction and was just completely out of their lives. So yeah, that's who I have on the show today. He went from a dark situation and realized that his life was on a tumultuous path, and he chose differently. And he ended up playing professional football, and now he speaks, at Department of Youth Services. He speaks at churches. He speaks at schools, all to help minimize the stigma of addiction and mental health that we have on people. So, and again, this is my message as well, is just to help people understand certain situations that they just don't understand. Individuals have a lot of animosity towards gangbangers, and they don't understand why there's gangbangers, and they think that gangbangers create all the crime and the drugs, and we have to eliminate gangs, and you just don't understand why a 12-year-old, would want to be involved in gangs. And this is what I'm here for, is to bring you these stories and share some of my experiences to help enlighten people, so that when we see an individual like this, we understand, and through understanding it'll create empathy, and we could help these individuals, because everybody wants to feel love in their lives. Nobody wants to feel alone. It's just that's the way that we feel. Our environments and our experiences have just twisted our thoughts into believing that we're just completely alone. And that's what we're here for, ain't it, man? To show these people that's just completely untrue. You're not alone. It's just hard sometimes to find people that really care, but that doesn't mean they're not there. You're just in the wrong forest. That's all it is. So it's just getting us out of that forest and getting us onto the path. So now I'm going to bring you Ron Burgess Jr. I hope you guys enjoy. For all my listeners, I love you guys. All my different countries, I hope you guys are safe, enjoying. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of my show. I implore you guys to drop messages. Let me know what's going on in your countries. Let me know what's going on in your life. You know, let's hear the real news. What's going on, across the country and the world. So get back with me. If you want to support any of my guests that are down and out on their luck, I have left links for you to do so as well. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Introducing Ron Burgess.
Hello.
Hey, Ronald.
How we doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on, partner? How are you?
I'm chilling, man. How we doing?
Man, life is blessed, man. I can't complain.
I hear you on that, man. Another day above ground, good to me, man.
I'm telling you, man, as bad as everything's going on, man, I still refuse to complain about anything, man.
Yeah, man. That's the motivation, man. Everybody ain't wake up this morning, man. That's what we got to keep. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I hear you on that.
So how are you? Tell me what's going on with you and who you are and where you come from, and give me the rundown so I know who I'm talking to, and I'll tell you a little bit about me.
All right, so I'm Ron Burgess Jr. I'm basically a motivational speaker. I'm also a program manager at a substance abuse facility for adults, men and women. And I'm also the CEO of the Ron Burgess Jr. Foundation. I'm a son of an addict. You know what I'm saying? Met my daddy 4 years ago. I'm 32. You know what I'm saying? I played pro football, AFL. I went to the NFL Combine 2012. First person from my college to go pro football. You know what I mean? I'm just a motivator, a hustler, you know what I'm saying? That took his pain and made it to something, saw purpose in it. You know what I mean? So I'm just a bottom boy survivor, basically. So that's a little bit about me.
So you never dealt with addiction for yourself or nothing other than just grew up around it and knew that you didn't want no part of it?
Right. I'm the son of an addict. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I met my daddy 4 years ago for the first time ever. First time seeing him, hearing his voice, seeing his face. He just found me. You know what I mean? And he wasn't in my life because of addiction. But, through that though, like, you know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be an NFL player, all that stuff. And I was wondering why God was leading me to addiction field. You know what I mean? I got into the addiction field actually when I was in college. I started working with adolescents. One of my wide receivers was working with adolescents. He was from Boston, so he from already up that way. And he basically just was saying, to get some extra money while I'm up there from Florida, because I was in Massachusetts. I'm in Massachusetts right now. Mm-hmm. So he basically, so I took the job, you know what I mean? Just for a paycheck, working with some kids, bad kids, that just, what I mean, that engage in addictive behaviors. It was a youth detox, basically. And, but that began to grow, you know what I mean? But at this whole time, I don't know my own father, you know what I'm saying? And then that led me to becoming a family engagement specialist, where it was my job to educate 50 plus families every weekend on how addiction is not a choice. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's rather a brain disease and like a family disease. So then within that's when I met my dad, as I was a family engagement specialist, and I finally woke up and seen what God was doing. Because he knew if my dad would have walked in my life when I wasn't educated on this addiction stuff, man, I would have told, man, look, I'm good. I'm from college. I'm good. I look at my scouts. You know what I'm saying? Your boy doing good. I don't need you. You late. You know what I mean? But other than that, I finally got educated on addiction. So I know, like, nah, he ain't choose drugs over me, man. He just had a disease that really just hijacked his brain, man. So I just took him in, man. I had a hole in my heart. It's filled now, though. And nobody gonna tell me they daddy better than mine. And I know it's only been 4 years, but, we only on the up from now, man. My old boy.
How's he doing now?
Yeah, he doing good right now. He stay in Florida. You know what I'm saying? He doing good right now, keeping his head above water. You know what I'm saying? We converse here and there. It ain't like on no everyday thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's on a monthly thing, so we converse, you know what I mean? We can hold decent, good conversations now, you know what I'm saying? And I say decent because we ain't all the way there with the conversations, man, because he just full of guilt and shame, man. So he can't never hold a conversation without breaking down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But like I be telling him, man, I'm tired of him breaking down, man. I'm good. Don't cry, man. But man, I don't think that old man gonna ever be, you know what I mean, proud of what he done in the past to his oldest son. You know what I'm saying? So
There's no question. Now, how old are you?
I'm 32.
32. Okay. What was your father's addiction?
My father's addiction was crack cocaine.
Hmm. And you know, it's amazing to me how I'm connecting with these people, you know, because like your story is linear to mine in a sense, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm your father, but I'm the flip side of your father. I'm the provider. You understand?
Yep.
And the thing of it is that, you know, in my ugliness and in those ways, I was doing the same thing that your father was doing in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
It's still an addiction no matter what. And this is the point that I'm trying to reach to my listeners, trying to reach to the world. We sit back and we judge other people based upon what their addiction is, what their escape from reality is, whether it's pedophilia, whether it's drug addiction, whether it's porn addiction, gambling, whatever your addiction is, whatever your escape is, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right for us to sit back and judge the next person.
Yeah. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because where that's bringing us, homie, is that's bringing us to a place of such insecurity and such sensitivity, right? And that's what brings deviancy, because I'm scared to express things that I'm going to be persecuted or embarrassed for or whatever.
Right.
You
right.
see?
Right.
And go ahead.
Right. And that's big, you know what I'm saying? Because and I like what you're saying, because that's why I tell a lot of people, man, our past circumstances don't define us one bit. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm in front of these families, man, I'm saying his past addiction don't define him. He's still an amazing father, man. That's somebody's child. That's somebody's brother. You know what I'm saying? That's somebody's supporter, provider. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to I want them to understand that the disease doesn't define them, man. You know what I mean? And what a lot of people do is, you know, especially people that it's hard to look at themselves, they dig up your past. You know what I mean? That's the enemy trying to trick you, to make you think your past defines you, man. You ain't gonna never be good. You lost your kids. You ain't gonna never be no good mom. Nah, shout to you. You got a disease, man. You can go back and get your kids, man. Go get back everything it took from you. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people that just shed light on you like they better than you. You know what I'm saying? When no sin is really worse than no sin, no other sin. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where our circumstances don't define us one bit. The past definitely don't define us, because people change, man. And they only gonna change when people stop shedding light on their past, trying to put them in deep pain, man, and instead instill hope and motivation in them to grow. And it ain't really got nothing to do with being better than nobody, because you know what I'm saying, it's more so about doing better for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But when we get in our circumstances, you know, keep getting brought up and all that stuff, and some people, they just don't understand too. You know what I'm saying? Because they never been on the side. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that part too. But everybody deserves chances. Everybody deserves hope. You know what I mean? And there's hope for everybody, man. So I like what you're saying with judging on the circumstances. That ain't the right way to be or go.
And that's the point, man. That's where we're at now, where we have become a society where we would rather blame somebody else,
Yeah.
right, than just self-reflect.
Yeah.
And now see the egregiousness of what's going on. And I wish people would just stop and just take a look at what's going on, right? Our rights to freedom of speech is being suppressed
Yeah.
because of all this sensitivity, right? Because I would rather create a law, Ron, to suppress you from calling me a name than me just dealing with why I'm being affected by you calling me a name.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to have to look at myself and deal with that. I would just rather suppress you so you can't say that to me.
Yeah. And that's self-accountability, self-assessment, man. We got to look at ourselves, man, and see what we got to do, because it's hard to look at yourself, man. And I like that. A lot of people don't rely on self accountability, and a lot of people don't sit back and self assess, man, to really understand. And a lot of people just ain't got the work ethic to put in the work, man. A lot of people basically don't trust the process, man. They just looking for the outcome. You know what I mean? But
and again, you're spot on, man. You're spot on, and we're doing this to ourselves.
Yeah. I hear you.
We're doing this to ourselves because instant gratification is something that's becoming new into our society, and that's due to Google. That's due to all of these things that we just want an instant answer to. And you said it when you sit down and you say, you know what? It's a lot easier for me to make somebody else change than for me to change myself.
Right. It's hard to look in the mirror and say, man, I did this to myself. I woke up late. That's why I ain't get it. You know what I'm saying? I did it to myself. You know what I'm saying? Even on little scales like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like my homeboy talking about his excuse for why he ain't where he's supposed to be as a black man in society is because he never had his dad in his life. And I'm like, bro, what if he never comes? You know what I'm saying? So it's like self-assess and hold yourself accountable for where you're going and where you at in life, man, instead of, I'm blaming it on somebody else. And I like the immediate thing too, though, because like you were saying, immediate gratification results in long-term consequences, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's a statement with addiction. And that's a statement what we talking about too. You know what I'm saying? We always looking for that immediate gratification. And the saying is, same with addiction, engaging in addictive behaviors, immediate gratification. I want to cope now, always lead to long-term consequences, jail time, losing children, whatever. It's the same thing with what you're saying right now. We always looking for that immediate gratification, and we gonna reap the consequences. We always do. We are now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of them things we got to get out of that habit of feelings in a case when you're trying to look for that immediate gratification, man. You know what I'm saying? So I like what you said about that instant gratification, but it's going to lead to long-term consequences that we going through today, and it's not going to stop if we continue to seek that immediate gratification. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the point. And I think today's government structure kind of drives that, right? And again, a lot of the conversations that I've been having with other people is the distractions that's upon us and in our way every day to keep us from self-awareness. Because we're distracted from the moment we wake up. We're distracted, right? Unless you're deep into your religion, you may wake up and you may pray, but after that, you're getting to your distractions. You see, and these distractions carry on through the whole day to the point. So in the evening time, you're so wore down from producing for other people, you just want a little bit of time for yourself. So you put on your show, your football, whatever it is, your video game, whatever it is, to ease your mind until you go to sleep.
Right, yeah.
And then you get up the next day and you do it all over again.
Exactly.
And then when the weekend comes, you got your jet skis, you have your amusement parks. Yeah. You have, just everything to keep your mind occupied on everything else other than what's going on within you and around you.
Yeah. Like self-awareness you was talking about. Man, we on a mission, man, and it's all about a purpose we trying to fulfill, man. I like the distractions thing because, like I always be saying, distractions are purpose killers, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we got to get rid of all distractions. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things we can do, you know what I'm saying? And while we sit here producing for other people, you know what I'm saying? And I like how you say producing for other people, when you got a self-awareness and self-reflect, because people don't really even know. It got to the point where I'm telling people, I think we care too much, because do we know that 30% of caregivers die before the people they even caring for, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it gets to a place where we saying like, listen, we caring too much. It's killing us to care too much. You know what I'm saying? And bro, you speaking fire right now, bro. I'm loving it. You're gonna have to have me on this show again.
And we can do that though. And
for real.
But these are facts, and this is the truth, right? And now, see, the thing of it is, what people don't understand, because over time, see, first and foremost, change doesn't happen overnight. You have to remember, this is a government structure, and this thing happens generationally, and over generations, things change. We may not feel it in our lifetime, but we're not thinking about our kids. This is why they train us about the instant gratification. Think small, don't think in the future. You
Yeah,
see what I'm
yeah,
saying? And what people have forgotten, right, is how all of this started. Economy was built. Everything was built off manpower, off our backs. Our work that we produced was worth something, right? And every man that worked back in them days, a blacksmith, you know, whoever, right? These people knew what their worth was, and they damn sure got returned for the work they put out. But see, we're not getting that now. There's no way we're getting a return for the work that we're putting out.
Right.
So if that's not the case, then how is that not slavery?
There we go. We talking. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, though? But it's a slavery of the mind in a way that makes you think that you have all of these luxuries and you have all of these freedoms.
Right.
You see? But at the end of the day, half of it's not even yours because you're still making payments to the bank.
Yeah. You on to something. Yeah.
So it's just recognizing these things in your life, and like you said, man, getting rid of these distractions, getting these distractions out of your life, picking up a book, a nonfiction book, at least once a day. And I'm guilty of this. I have to start doing it myself. Get back into the reading, you know, and just start focusing on at least an hour or two of yourself each day.
Right. You know, and I like the book thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it's so much stuff you can read. I love to read. You know what I'm saying? My biggest thing, I got to stop just sticking to one book. I got to read like 2 books at a time or something, like little by little. But like, we got knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And reading and all that stuff, it brings about the knowledge. And I don't think a lot of people doing that. Goes back to what I was saying. I don't think a lot of people willing to even put in the effort, to work, to dig deep, to really figure things out, you know, and self-reflect and really sit back to see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because we got knowledge. You know, because knowledge, you know, and this is my opinion, I don't even think knowledge power no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's to the point wisdom power, because wisdom, what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? Because we got
exactly
all the
right.
knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Now, like you saying, stop suppressing. We got to use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it to wisdom. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at right now. And it ain't going to start. Nothing going to change if nothing change. That's why we going through the same thing, man. That's why you said things don't change overnight. That's how I like that. You know what I mean? But nothing gonna change if nothing change. You know what I'm saying? So
you're spot on, brother. You're spot on, man. You know how many smart dummies I done met in my life?
Yeah.
Smart. You could. This man could recall everything in a book that he called, but still dumb as a box of rocks, man. For real.
Yeah. You know, so I had one of my guys told me the story, man, about a guy that went through all these master's programs to become in all these trades, and he became one of the best little engineers and all that with light bulbs and electricity, all crazy type stuff. You know what I mean? And then he was given a project and he couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But it was this one guy in prison that they pointed in his direction, and that guy ended up being able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just to show all that book smart stuff don't mean nothing, man. When you put time into something that you know is going to be of value, when you put time into something that you know that's going to be of worth, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff, it's all about time. People ain't really trying to put in that time, man. You know what I'm saying?
10,000 hours, man. What you know about 10,000 hours?
10,000 hours.
Huh?
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
You got to put them 10,000, man. And let me explain to my listeners that may not understand what the 10,000 hours is, right? Now, 10,000 hours is scientifically proven, right? It's a study that after 10,000 hours of extreme focus on one subject, not multiple subjects, but one subject, that your actual brain alters and becomes stronger and thicker in that portion of the brain that was being used for those 10,000 hours. So as whatever trade, electrician, carpenter, whatever trade that you're in, after you accumulate 10,000 hours of that trade, you're considered to be mastered in that trade.
Yeah. And people don't understand him, man. That's that knowledge.
There's no way around it.
There ain't nowhere. That's that knowledge people got to apply right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, take that. Like the mindset, man. And the crazy thing about it is a lot of people know what we need to do. They just didn't feel what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the crazy thing about the mind, man. They know your feels, your weaknesses, but they also know what you want to do too. So it's like really getting out of that fear a little bit like that. You know, you hear me now still? I put my headphones
Yeah.
back in. It's getting out of that fear. You know what I'm saying? Getting out of that fear and really just digging deep, man. Them 10,000 hours big, man. 10,000 hours big. A lot of
So
people be like, check a lot of it's about mindset too. A lot of people be like, you can't make $1 million overnight. You know what I'm saying? But I can make $1 a million times though. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about mindset, man, and really trying to just put it away where people understand, man, what's really going on.
so this is a good segue, right? Because you're talking about mindset, and this is what I really want to get into. So take me into like what it was growing up without your father, because you know, as I shared a little bit of my story, my daughter had also went through the same thing. You know, she grew up without
Yeah.
me, and so help enlighten me into kind of what maybe my daughter was going through or whatnot.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because growing up, being the oldest brother, you know what I'm saying? I had two younger brothers. I'm 32. The other one, 32, 31, and 30. We right behind each other, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So single mother, you know what I mean? Raising three boys, that was tough. And, she worked hard. She made sure food was on the table, but it was still hard, you know what I'm saying? Because having that single mom, and we knew what was going on to an extent, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's real difficult. It really took a toll as we got older, when we started playing sports and getting involved in activities and stuff where, you know what I mean? It would be lovely to have that other parent there because you watching everybody else with theirs, you know what I'm saying? And
Now this is
this
in
is in
South
Florida,
Florida.
Miami. Yeah, Miami. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? Yeah, the
the
bottom.
bottom. I'm in
Oh yeah,
I'm
you
in
in
Tampa.
Tampa? Oh yeah, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, man. So like, it's just like, what I'm saying, it was tough. You know what I'm saying? My other two brothers, they had a different father. I got a different father from them. You know what I mean? So their father wasn't in their life either. So it's like it was just real tough, man, and pain and stuff like that. I would love to have a man to throw a football with you. You know what I'm saying, man? When I met my dad, I found out he played cornerback high school. That was my position. Like, you know what I'm saying? You find out all these crazy things that we had in common that I kind of missed out on, that he could have kind of been a coach to shape me up. You know what I mean? But they say, you know what I mean, a woman raise can't raise a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think a woman can raise a man, but I don't think she can teach a man how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? And it just came to the point where it just led to a lot of disobedience and stuff like that with my mom. You know what I'm saying? But I look at myself today and I'm like, dang, can a woman really teach a man how to be a man? Like, because she all I had, you know what I'm saying? And I think I sit okay in my life today. So but I'll be trying to shake it, understanding that me and my dad ain't what we supposed to be yet. You know what I'm saying? Because like you was saying, man, spitting fire saying change ain't gonna happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? So do I hold on to some stuff? A little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we getting there, and that's the biggest thing. We getting there fast, like, you know what I'm saying? So I love him. He love me. He tell me all the time. I tell him, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep bringing up the past. It was hard, man. You know what I'm saying? It was hard, and
So how did you maintain through that? Now, have you ever been in trouble
yeah.
with the law or
So I've been
anything
in
like
trouble with
that?
the law. I did a bid with my little brother, actually, my baby brother. You know what I'm saying? I did a bid for burglary of an occupied dwelling. I did that in West Palm, actually. I did that up in Gun Club, West Palm. You know what I'm saying? So I did some time with my little brother. I was in and out of the detention center too. You know what I'm saying? But my only big charge when I got on the dope was with my little brother. You know what I'm saying? Which was real crazy, being locked up with your brother. You know what I'm saying? Your baby brother. My
Yeah.
middle brother wasn't there, it was my baby brother. So, he's staying in Atlanta right now. He in the A. You know what I'm saying? But that was tough. You know what I'm saying? I used to run away, man, sleeping in abandoned apartments, man. I was the disobedient child, man. You know what I'm saying?
But what was causing that? Do you know?
Well, you just ain't want to go by mama rules, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where hanging with the wrong crowd, you know what I'm saying, and just being disobedient because I'm a man and, the woman can't tame me mentality, when she was just trying to lead me in the right direction.
But was you mad at some? Was you? Because I know like a lot of times like, and I was guilty of this here because I treated my mom like crap, man, because I was just
Likewise.
mad, and and I seen that other people, other men were treating my mom like crap, so it confused me because I at that time I thought that was like
Right, right,
normal.
right, right,
You know what
right,
I
right.
mean? So
It was one
go
of them
ahead.
things where, what I'm saying, like, it was never really, it was never no man in my mom's life. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think I was just angry at the world. And I ain't figured this out till I was
Mm-hmm.
25 sitting in a counseling session. You know what I'm saying? Because when you young and you ain't got nobody and you just feel like you ain't got no hope, you know what I'm saying, and it's gonna be your life, you become a product of your environment, you know what I'm saying, and this is what you used to, this is what you see, you know what I mean, and then the men in the projects, you know what I'm saying, them, I had my mind made up, that's my image of the men, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm-hmm.
a image I
Mm-hmm.
was willing to fulfill, and I did, you know what I'm saying, so it's like one of them things where like you get out of that environment that actually sit back and actually get to look at it, man, because I'm a firm believer, man, that I ain't no Hollywood type person, man. I love the projects. I go back, I speak, you know what I'm saying? I still see my friends and stuff sometimes. So, but it's like one of them things as you sit back, I come way up to Massachusetts just to get a look. You know what I'm saying? And understanding that in the projects, man, the street lights was the limit, man. When you get out, you understand like, dang, the sky the limit. And that image of a man that I was really willing to fulfill wasn't, the healthy route to go. You know what I mean? And they started off like I started off, angry, without their dads, you know what I'm saying, disobedient, you know what I mean, selling, in and out of jail, so it's like one of them things where like I think most of that anger came from me watching them not knowing what other men to look at and trying to fulfill that, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Fulfill that
right.
image of a man. You know what I'm saying? And whatever they said I needed to do, I needed to do. Your mom got you coming in at 10, man. What you doing? You make the rules. You little man. You know what I'm saying? And they had me running. I'm running errands, errand boy, young boy. I'm just running errands. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of them things. I think that's what led to a lot of things, and just trying to fulfill that image of a man that I seen in the projects really led to me, what I mean, giving the lady that really loved me the most my behind a kiss. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? But she definitely got enough, man. You can never repay mama, it's the saying for me, man. And what I mean, she's still big in my life. She's my biggest supporter now. It's crazy.
And she always will be, man. And that's the thing about women, man,
Yeah.
especially black women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Black women, like even though that they're the most disrespected,
Yeah. On earth.
human being
Yeah.
on earth, they're still the most caring, loving, most honest, dedicated, loyal, woman
Yeah.
that I've ever
Likewise.
known. You know, and it's just crazy that speaking of this here, so you growing up in South Florida, right? When was like the first time that you experienced a racial issue that you knew like race was
Me growing up in
involved?
Florida, the first time I really experienced, I knew race existed, like more so towards the end of middle school, like, you know what I'm saying? But my first encounter was, you know what I'm saying, when what led to my bid, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of like a whole little racial profiling thing because at this time, although I was staying in Lauderdale at that time, I used to run in Boca Raton a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're familiar with Boca Raton, but I used to run, oh,
Brother, I'm
okay, bet.
familiar with
I used
all
to
of
run in
Florida.
Boca. I used to run in Boca Raton, you know what I'm saying, over there on Federal every now and then. So it's a lot of racist cops over there and stuff. So it led to a lot of
Hmm.
personal vendettas. Oh yeah, West
West
Palm
Palm
too.
too.
Yeah, yeah, West Palm too, man. West Palm too. So it's like experiencing that and stuff. You know what I mean? And the ratio is now up in Massachusetts. It's kind of bad too a little bit. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit worse. You know what I mean? But I played in the AFL and I was in Kentucky. when I was in the AFL. So that's the worst I ever been. You know what I'm saying?
So this is so with all of this going on, like who was your mom a person that you confided in, or did you just
So
hold
my mom
everything
was definitely a
inside?
person I confided in with this stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? Because even as a
Even as a
kid,
kid?
man, with this one, you know what I'm
And what
saying?
she
She
used
used
to
to
tell you?
always tell me, man, watch your back. You know what I mean? We couldn't even have white girlfriends. It was so crazy, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like one of them things, like, cause she grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? And she just want to protect, and she know what we talk, just like what we talking about. Nothing ever changing. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna be the same thing, whether it's trying to be hidden, whatever. It's still gonna be the same agenda. You know what I'm saying? So
Isn't
yeah,
this crazy though? So what do you think all of this is going to bring out? Everything that's going on today, what do you think the outcome? Say, if you could look 10 years from now, what do you think? What kind of
we either gonna
changes
be in
do
the
you
same
see?
position or deeper, man. We either gonna be in the same position or deeper, man, deeper down. I mean, like you know what I'm saying? And it just goes back to this is a revolving door, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people in office that dictate our life. Like we got the power. You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta use it though, man. It goes back to the wisdom. Wisdom is power, man. Use all that knowledge. Just like I'm using all the knowledge from my mom, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. The OGs, you know what I'm saying? They know what they talking about. You know what I'm saying?
This is this is why I have my
Hmm.
show, brother. I mean, I'm a
Yeah,
45-year-old man, and I've been through a lot. Like my life has been just one long tale of trauma, and I pretty much did
yeah.
most of it to
Right.
myself, you know. And now what I'm trying to do is, like, I'm nobody. I'm just some guy that's just sitting here in a room right now on my
Yeah.
phone with you and recording this stuff for a podcast. Like I'm struggling to
Right.
survive right
Right.
now too. I get doors shut in my face every day, and now with COVID and everything that's going on. But for me, the most important thing I feel pulling at me right now is to get this message out to people, because we're in a very
Yeah.
pernicious
Yeah.
time, man. And people aren't really even understanding what's going on, not even here in this country, but what's going on in
Right.
a global scale. You know, people are just so focused what's going on in their little town or their city. They're not even really understanding what's going on a
Right.
whole global scale, you know? And so I'm like, man, I have to be, because I'm not hearing what really
Right.
needs to be
Right. There
said.
we go. Yeah. Right.
I'm not
Right.
hearing the truth. I'm not hearing the truth.
Right.
I keep hearing a little
Yeah. Right.
tads, and now the NFL got,
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter out and all of this stuff, and it's all corporate sayings. But listen, why, like you say, why would I think that this is going to change in the next 10 years when in the 60s you had some of the most profitable men that were telling you
Right.
back then what
Right.
was going to happen, and you
Like
still
like
didn't
my
even listen.
like my mama saying, man,
So
we can't continue to let people pee in your face and tell you it's raining. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what's been going on for years, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just gotta. I'm tired of asking for permission. You know what I'm saying? And we got to get out of the habit of asking for permission, man. It's ours. You know what I'm saying? Man, you spitting fire. You know what I'm saying? So,
so me
hmm
so me as a white guy, right? What can I do? What can I do to show that I support Black people in the movement, and I really want Black people to be equal with me? Me as a white guy, what could I do to show you that?
you showing it right now. You showing it right now. And the biggest
Mm.
thing is
How?
because although support is there, we already know there ain't gonna never be an understanding. You got to be in shoes. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to that. You ain't saying this past circumstances defined you. If you ain't in that boat, you on this side. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, and I ain't gonna lie, when
Mm.
people talk about that little change, when we look at the Black Lives Matter marches, we seeing more, we seeing every race, we seeing big diversity. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, it wasn't that much diversity during these marches and stuff, and I get it. So people measuring that 0.1%, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But like all my friends, they support me and they tell me like, look, man, I know you. I ain't gonna never understand. You got people when this stuff happened. I got friends that call me, white friends that call me, and they be like, man, look, my homeboy called me crying. Like, dog, I don't even know what to say to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I don't even know what to say to you, bro, but I just want to let you know I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And what they did when, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like the support is big, man. And never giving up. Believing in what I'm doing is changing the world. You know what I'm saying? Because we gonna see it first, and before I had doors closed in my face, man. So people ask, man, why my foundation? Why don't I get grants and government funds for my foundation? Because I want to do what I want to do. That's why. Like, I'm tired of asking for permission. So I got all my supporters, all my friends pouring into my foundation, doing little fundraisers here. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where we got to just take control over everything. Don't give up. So what you doing right now is basically saying, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to give up. Yeah, people going to close the door. People going to shut the door in our face all day. They've been doing that forever. People been doing that on us forever. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest thing is we never give up, man. We see purpose in all the pain. We see purpose in all the pain, man. You know what I'm saying?
I can't. I mean, I can't give up.
To
To
give
give
up is
up
to
is to
die.
die.
Yeah.
And it's like they say, a coward dies 1,000 deaths,
Once.
but a
Yeah.
man only dies once. And that rings so true in so many different things, and that's kind of what led to my change. So, but sticking with you, how did you go from the mindset where you were at during school and the disobedience, turning it into something positive, what you got
I
now?
think, well, to be
What
honest, I
caused
think
that?
the biggest cause was when I moved to Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? The reason I got from the way I got from Florida to Massachusetts, because I ain't had the goodest grades, man. You know what I'm saying? So actually, I played football back then for Deerfield Beach High. You know what I'm saying? And when I played for Deerfield, my one of yeah, man, the Bucks.
Oh,
So one of my
Deerfield.
coaches, he ended up getting a head coaching job at Becker College up here in Mass. You know what I mean? So my senior year, and after it was over, he was like, man, you could come up here with me, you know what I'm saying, and play, you know what I'm saying? So I took that opportunity, man, and just being up here, just seeing change, you know what I'm saying, having the same mindset, but growing out of it slowly, you know what I'm saying? I did time up here, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but I grew out of it slowly, you know what I'm saying? And actually my first year, or my first and a half year in college, that's when I actually did the bid with my brother, because I ended up going home for summer vacation. You know what I'm saying? So, and I ended up missing a whole year of college, football and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually when I did the bid, because I was still at that same mindset, you know what I'm saying? Going back to the same environment, you know what I'm saying? So I think getting out of that and really seeing stuff for what it is, seeing life, and, you know what I'm saying, to the point where your friends tell you, like, man, look, we good here. Don't come back, man. Ain't nothing good here. You know what I'm saying? But I still check in and holler at them and all that stuff, man, because our paths and circumstances don't define us, man. I was raising them same projects, man. Same snotty nose jit in them projects. So, you know what I'm
Amen.
saying? So I got,
Amen. And that's what I was gonna, because that's an important way to look at things, man. Like, again, that you're a
yeah,
man of yourself, right? When your homeboy can tell you, man, don't
yeah,
come back here, there's nothing good, and you can walk through that place without no kind of
nothing.
affliction, because like, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter where I'm
yeah,
at, brother. I'm me. You know, I'm me. That it's the same sense as, when I'm going through my
yeah,
college bid, is what I like to call it, right? So, but
yeah,
but
right,
but
right.
I was
Wow,
federal,
yeah,
so they were
yeah,
moving me from state to state, you see. And again, I'm Florida raised,
yeah,
and I was raised in the
yeah,
hood,
yeah, yeah,
as you
yeah,
could probably tell, you know. So the thing of it was that, when I got inside and they started moving me further west, right? People are telling me, like, you're gonna have problems moving west, because those
yeah,
white dudes out there aren't gonna like you. What do you mean they're not gonna like me? Well, you mix, and they don't play that over there. Everything is segregated. So at the end of the day, it's like I tell them, man, at the end of the day,
Yeah,
men
right.
respect
Yeah.
men. And I
Yeah,
know that.
man.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Men respect men. And at the end of the day, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how you talk, how you walk, how you look, whatever. But if you're respectful, you're
Yeah.
humble, and you treat people the way that you want to be treated,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
always going to get
That's
that
big
respect.
because, man, listen, empower people, man. You know what I'm saying? So every time another man coming at me, like, you know what I'm saying, with something other than empowerment, something other than to build me up, you know what I'm saying? I know what's going on. It goes back to that awareness, man. I know what's going on. I understand empower people, man. You hurt, brother. What's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because empower people. So I ain't gonna in return shed on they like bring up they past because I know empower people, and he just ain't got it yet. You know what I'm saying? So my job is to pick the next man up, man, and that's the only way things gonna change, man. It ain't nothing on earth living for itself. Flowers don't smell itself, water don't drink itself. Same with people, bro. Like it ain't nothing on earth living for itself, man. So we gotta keep the hope alive and just stand behind each other, man. You know what I mean? United. You know what I'm saying? And support one another. We ain't gotta understand each other to support each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because why? Because we looking at the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about, bro. All
And
starts with
it all
self.
starts
Yeah.
with self. Like, so when was it? When was it, Ron? What was it that made you start looking at yourself and start loving yourself versus trying to have other people love you
Well,
or
that started
whatever?
happening when you start looking at yourself and basically start asking yourself a question. I got asked myself by one of my mentors, and he said, "What decisions you making to be where you at?" You know what I'm saying? And that little question right there, what decisions you making to be where you at? It kind of ain't dawn at first. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always talking about how I'm down and out and all that. But bro, that stuff was self-inflicted, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff was self-infliction, bro. We put ourselves in pain. You know what I'm saying? So what decisions you making to be where you at? Man, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing good with my finances. I'm spending money places I probably shouldn't be spending. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't studying. You know what I'm saying? So I'm feeling like self-assess. It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when we ask ourselves what decisions we making to be where we at, sometimes that'll lead to so much pain we still won't change. So it just goes back to the why, man. When he asked me, what's my why, man? You know what I'm saying? What's your why? And don't tell me your why strong enough, Ron, if you ain't making the right decisions. Don't tell me your why to get your mom out the projects if you ain't making the right decision. Don't tell me your why to get your mom out the projects when you calling me, telling me you finna quit the football team because the coach ain't gonna talk to you that kind of way. Ain't you trying to make it to the league? You know what I'm saying? So it's that mindset, man, that
Preach.
mindset and that mentality, and those questions, those are number two questions that kind of got me out of it. And one of my favorite speakers is Les Brown. And Les Brown, he had told this story about how he was in Florida. It was this boy in Florida, and he used to walk by this crib, and he used to be an old man in a rocking chair rocking, and a dog used to be at his feet crying. I'm talking howling. Every single morning, Jit walking to school, and the dog would be howling. You know what I'm saying? So the boy finally got the courage to ask the man on one day to go on to school, like, man, sir, why your dog crying every single day I see you? You rocking in that chair, he at your feet crying. Man, the OG in the rocking chair replied, because he laying on a nail coming out the porch floorboard. So the little kid was like, so why he won't get up then? Ain't he in pain? OG replied, because he comfortable. Bruh, sometimes, bruh, we'll be in so much pain and settle for it. And we'll be crying about our situations, where we at in life, how this ain't going good. But we still laying on the nail because we comfortable, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically just me digging deep, really understanding that comfortable zone is not going to help you grow. We don't get to the next level when we comfortable on the level we on. You know what I'm saying? So just and back to it, seeking purpose in the pain, man, saying, man, if I'm gonna go through pain and if I'm gonna sacrifice anything, I'm gonna get something out of it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Again, that's what we were talking
Getting
about
paid for
earlier
your work.
is getting
Right,
paid for
right.
your work.
You know what I'm saying?
Getting
So I
paid for
think
your
that's the
work,
biggest
man.
things that really like got me out of that mindset. And when something tastes good, like when I'm eating food and something tastes good, I want more. And I think that's how it is with success. When you get it and you start really growing and seeing things from a different perspective, you start really growing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Imagine a guy like going up to you or going up and it's this guy, I don't know if you're familiar with TED Talk. Dude hold up a big poster, bro. The poster red. And he hold it up in front of hundreds of people and ask him what color is it? And everybody say red. So he shake his head, nah, I don't see red. He said, can somebody tell me, he's still holding the poster up high in the sky. Somebody tell me what color this poster is. Everybody kept saying red. He did this for like 30 minutes. I'm talking people mad. Like they basically started judging him, saying like, yo, dude don't know his colors. How he get to do a TED Talk? You know what I'm saying? Oh, his color. He color that. So he don't know nothing. He didn't even go to school. Bruh, he walked back to the stage with the big red poster. He turned it around. It was blue. He was just on the other side. You know what I'm saying? He said, y'all went to different perception, but y'all went in to judge me. I was right. You was right. But nobody asked me, bruh, help me understand, bruh. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or what color are you looking at?
Or what color do you looking at?
Help me understand why you don't see red like I see, sir. Like, you know what I'm saying? They went automatically to judging him. You know what I'm saying? And that's the biggest thing, man. That's what we do in life, man. We judge people, dig up their past, like you was just saying in the beginning, they circumstances and stuff, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I want people to understand how that happens, right? And why that happens. Because you have to know why something happens in order to stop it from happening. You see? Now we go back to what you were saying a moment ago, where you said you started asking yourself a question, right? Do you know that when you ask yourself a question, when you ask yourself your brain a question, your brain is always going to answer. It's never not going to answer. Anytime you ask yourself a question, it's going to give you an answer. Now, if your brain does not know the answer, you're going to go crazy trying to figure out what the answer is. And sooner or later, your brain is just going to give you an assumption, an answer of a calculated experiences and things that your brain is going to put together to make a calculated assumption as to, well, this could possibly be this, right? And the thing of it is that when you become so egotistical, right? If you're not a humble person and you become so egotistical, you're not even understanding that your brain is going crazy trying to give you an answer that it don't have. So in this instance, this guy's holding up this sign, and common sense to these people are like, the sign is red, right? I'm not understood. So now the brain's going crazy. Like it's trying to figure out the right answer. Number one, because you got so many narcissistic people in the crowd that want to be the first one to have the right answer. You see what I'm saying? And what this dude is doing is pulling up these people's emotions, right? And these people they're not even understanding that now their emotions are starting to get involved, and they're starting, like you say, to pass judgment and things, because now their emotions is driving their thought process. So now this guy's crazy. This guy's nuts. This guy's crazy. It's red. Like you're saying, not even ask a question. And that's what goes on today in America, in the streets. Like you said, nobody's even asking questions.
Right.
They just assume. I just assume I know what the black man wants.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what, Mr. Black Man, we're not even going to ask you what you want. We're just going to tell you, listen, this is what you're going to do, you know? Because study shows that this is what you like. Bro. Ain't this some shit?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I like the egotistical thing. Bro, people that typically look at other people, it's people that typically look at other people, they typically have an ego problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard for them to really look at themselves. And looking at yourself is facing the truth, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we be running from the truth sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Looking at yourself in the mirror is you basically saying you're going face to face with the truth. It's all about you. Because nobody should want my dreams, vision, mission, and my purpose more than I want it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like we running from the truth. It's like when we was talking about how I used to, run away from home. You know what I'm saying? I used to have the abandoned apartment. If you believe it or not, the first 7 days, I really didn't think I was homeless. You know what I'm saying? And then the mind start really saying, because now you got time to sit with yourself. day 8. Man, what you mean? Like, so what if I got a apartment? I'm still homeless and ain't nothing in here. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't mine. Like, but the
It's not
mind really
yours.
tricked me in the beginning to say, you ain't homeless, you got an apartment right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I was to
To
justify,
tell
because
you
I'm
what you want
running
to
from
hear,
the
to
truth.
justify your
You know what I'm
actions.
saying? So that's big, man, with the
Mm.
egotistical thing, bro. So I definitely feel you on that, bro.
And the thing of it is, like what you and I are talking about, right? The most important thing that people need to understand, like when I talk to people about
Yeah.
addiction, you know, I've had addicts on the show talking about their problems, things like this. The most important aspect of what we're talking about is
Yes,
to
sir.
know it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anything that's
Yeah.
going on in your life right now is okay. Don't even
Yeah. Yeah.
because you're alive and you're breathing and you can
Yeah,
make a different
man.
decision the
Yeah,
next
man.
minute. You see what I'm saying? Because now what you and I are
Yes,
doing,
sir.
brother, we're doing spiritual work right now. And how we're doing spiritual work
Yeah.
is because we're kicking game, we're kicking knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And that's what being born again is all about. That's what that's the
Yeah.
representation in the Bible of being born again, is just understanding now what God is. And
Can't
now
go
that
back.
you
Can't
know the
don't retreat.
truth,
We can't
you can't
retreat.
go back
Like, you
from
know
it.
what I'm saying? Because you
Bec-
running from the
because
truth,
now all you're
lying to
doing is just
yourself.
lying to
Running from the
yourself.
truth, lying to yourself. Like you say, we
You're
can't
running from the
retreat.
truth.
It's a story about this little soldier
You see?
guy. They went on a quest to go to war. When they got to the little island, bruh, he turned around and told them to burn the ships down. They all looking crazy, bruh. He was a mastermind. They won, by the way. He was telling them, I ain't gonna give you no option to retreat, bruh. They whole mindset changed. We gotta win. Like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got no other way out. We gotta win this war. You know what I'm saying? So we can't run away from it. We can't retreat.
Mm.
And like you say, there's always hope. And I be telling people, adversity is inevitable. If you woke up this morning, bro, and there's breath in your lungs, you got hope, bro. You could change right now. You got hope. If you woke up, bro, so many people that ain't wake up. Even my people that I counsel, bro. I'll be like, raise your hand if you've had an overdose more than 3 times. You know how many of them raise their hands? I say, think about the person that had an OD once and then come to and lost his life. You know what I'm saying? As long as there's breath in your lungs, there's hope for you to
That's it.
bounce back and change everything and go get everything you deserve, everything that's yours. You know what I'm saying? So that's real deep, bro. Nothing.
And
Yeah,
that's what it is, man. There's no going back, you know. So that's it, man. I mean, yeah, this
for
this
real,
was a
bro.
great convo,
Likewise.
brother. I love talking to you, man. And I'm definitely, because I travel down to
Well,
Miami quite
I'm in
frequently.
Mass
So
right now.
where
I'm
about
in
where
Massachusetts right
about
now.
without
Oh yeah.
saying, I know
Yes,
you're in Mass
sir.
right
Yeah,
now.
I got a house in
Oh, you live in
Massachusetts.
Mass right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. I come down there
okay.
all the time.
So you don't
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
come
yeah,
back
yeah. I
down
come
this
down there all
way.
the time. Too much. Yeah, I do. Yeah, for sure. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely have to get
Yeah,
connected, man.
man,
I
we
definitely got
definitely
to get
do,
involved with
man. We
what you're
definitely
doing
do,
too,
man.
man.
So I got your contact information. So we gonna be talking real soon, either tomorrow or the day after.
Yeah, no question. Hey, take care of
All right,
yourself, man, and
likewise,
stay
brother.
safe. And again,
Talk to you
thank you for this
soon.
convo, man.